All right, got a little cold, but I'm okay. Let me talk about Michigan football real fast. Mark Rogers' ass is Michigan still a blue blood. Michigan is not a blue blood anymore. Michigan last national championship was in 1948. Their last half a championship was in 1997. They shared with Nebraska. Charles Woodson. A lot of times people get confused that Michigan is this power that was in the 80s and 90s, which is not, which is true to the sort, because they used to play in the Rose Bowl all the time. The Rose Bowl was considered to be a big bowl because one of the oldest bowls there was, and most of the population in our states at at one point was up in like Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, because that's where a lot of the factories were, Pittsburgh, those areas, that's where a lot of the factories were. So I know there's at one point there was those schools in Pennsylvania and the Big Ten, but at the same time, most of the population in the country was in that area and out west, like in California. So when they had their bowl game in the Rose Bowl, they took a lot of people for that particular area on to play in that particular bowl, the Rose Bowl, and that's why that bowl was so popular. In the 80s and 90s, Michigan went to 10 straight Rose Bowl, but it was 3-7, and that's one of the biggest bowls there was. Fiesta wasn't that big. Cotton was decent. Orange Bowl was big because the big eight teams were real good at that time, like Oklahoma and Nebraska. And then they used to play an independent um, at that time. But Michigan has not won a Big Ten title since 2004, and since 1904. I mean, since 2004. If you look at the same 15-year time period, Michigan State, who does not have the talent that Michigan has at least won three championships, Big Ten championships since that time. Wisconsin has had a few, but but for the most part, Michigan has not won a championship. They had not even appeared in the Big Ten championship game. Next thing that I want to point out about Michigan, people say, well, Michigan has the most wins of all time. It's kind of misleading. If you go back to the early 1900s, the schedules were different. Michigan, one year in 1903, played 12 games. Let's see, 1904, 10 games. 1905, 13 games. 1906, 5 games. There was no war going on at that time. '07, 7 games. Um, '08, 8 games. 7 games in '09. Yeah, sure you get the point. 1910, 10 games. Then they played schools that you never heard of back then, like Case. The one year they played the physician and surgeon school. They played the University of Chicago, who doesn't even have a football team no more. So, this thing about there being a blue blood is kind of misleading. I know Michigan was the first one to put what's it called, a emblem on the helmet, the wing teeth, for they know who they were throwing the ball to and stuff like that. I would consider Ohio State a blue blood before I consider Michigan. Because you look at Ohio State, they have been consistent. I think the only time they have really been down at Ohio State was like the 80s, maybe. But, I mean, they were winning championships in the 60s and 70s. And, I mean, Clemson really started Ohio State fall with their 5 wins in 1978. Um, but no, I don't consider Michigan a blue blood. They're, um, they're an over exaggeration of history. Um, I'm sorry, I got this weird. I don't know if I got a sinus infection or whatever, but I just got an infection somewhere in my body. But all right, I'll talk to y'all in a little while.